What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to the Cool Quay Show, brought to you by the Undisputed Real of MMA. This your boy, MMA Cool Quay. Fight fans, I'm giving my predictions, fight predictions and breakdowns of Fight Night Mexico. Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. Urkel. Did I do that? I call Steve Erceg, Steve Erceg, y'all. I just like fooling with Steve, man. Steve Erceg, y'all know him with the glasses. Y'all know what I'm talking about, fight fan. I know what I'm talking about. I like how Robal said it, though. You know what I'm saying? Did I do that? You say,
Steve, well, did I do that? But you know, but, hey, he got it.
Fight fans, let's get into it, fight fans. Mexico fans, stand up. My Puerto Rican fans, y'all stand up. All the fans across the world stand up for this one because it's a banger. But you know when Brandon Moreno fight, he bring the fight, he bring the action, he bring the violence, and he brings the excitement. How can you not love Brandon Moreno as an MMA fighter? You know what I'm saying? The only way you cannot love Brandon Moreno is if you are Mrs. Urkel. You know what I'm saying? Mrs. or Mr. Urkel or Junior Urkel. You know, not to like, or Australian fan, not to like Brandon Moreno. Fight fans, I'm excited for this one. For this fight, I don't need a drum roll, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yes, I will be going with Brandon Moreno to beat Steve this Saturday live in Mexico City. I don't feel like Steve is used to the climate and environment in Mexico, but Brandon Moreno, this will be his 4th time fighting in Mexico in his hometown, fight fans. He's pumped. Just come off that big win with Emmanuel, and he's ready to get back in there to prove himself again and defeat Steve, fight fans. I got Brandon Moreno winning. I say probably decision. I don't know how Steve's chance gonna be after getting I ain't gonna say flatline, but he got knocked out pretty bad by Kaka Friends in his last fight. So
Yeah, it looked like Kai about to open up.
Fight fans, we the first round fight.
Whoa!
Yeah! Get up, Steve!
Damn! I did not
fight fans, Kaka Friends all over. Recover, Steve. Recover, Steve. Finish the cow. Oh, my God.
I told y'all. That boy put Steve out. I told y'all.
Dang.
Say it ain't so, baby. Kaka Friends. Come on, baby.
Don't blink. Don't blink.
Come on, baby.
Wood got it right, y'all.
Come on, baby. Got it right with it.
Hey, we blinked for 1 second and knocked him out.
Oh, my God.
Come on, baby.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Kaka. Oh, my God.
Got you, Steve.
Last stop is Richie.
At home.
Richie.
At home.
Man.
At home.
They got to replay that.
We got him at home.
He could have gave him a little more time, but
He wasn't going to recover.
he was on the head. He could have gave him a little more time.
A little more time, though, man. Oh, man. Wow. Dang, Steve. Down goes Steve. Down goes. I know a little bit of that confidence is kind of taken away from Steve. He had a lot of high confidence when he came in fighting Kaka Friends.
It's your timing. Ooh, countered that leg kick there. Oh, the elbow!
Had a hell of a fight when he fought Pantoja, the champ. Then he took a fight with Kaka. Kaka slept him. My man Woody called that. I had Steve winning. And then he coming to fight another dangerous contender like Brandon Moreno. You know, I think Brandon Moreno's going to get him. I feel like the pace is going to be a little too much. We're talking about a former champion, Brandon Moreno, who went 5 rounds, plenty of time. He has probably more experience than anybody in the flyweight division. And I love this guy. Like he always say, probably not next week, probably not next month, probably not in 2 weeks, but I will be UFC champion. You got to love him, you know. And that'd be crazy if Brandon Moreno can get himself back to the title picture and win a belt again. That'll be amazing for Brandon Moreno's career. So, yes, I got Brandon Moreno winning. I think the key to success for Brandon Moreno to win this fight, hear me out, is to use a lot of calf kicks. Pop that jab, Brandon Moreno. Pop it. You're really good with the jab. It's very, it's sharp and efficient at times, especially if you find a longer fighter like Steve who just stands stationary. He's very long. When he back, he's long. There's no movement. So yes, throw those calf kicks, man, and mix it up. I think that Brandon Moreno mixed it up a lot more than Steve do.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful.
Steve got the reach, and he relies on his reach for his defense almost. It's kind of like Steve is a national wrestling champion out of Australia, but we almost never see Steve grappling or wrestling in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? His UFC fights per se. Now, Steve looked good against Pantoja. I was kind of leaning towards Steve in that fight. Not gonna lie. Because Steve got good grappling, he got good scrambles, so he could scramble up to his feet. He's long, and that's what made that fight between Steve and Pantoja so competitive. You know, I mean, Pantoja is bleeding gallons of blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, he should have donated that blood to someone in Brazil. All that blood was just skin out his head. You know, Steve was very nasty with the elbows. But Brandon Moreno will not be getting hit with those things in this fight fans. I'm just being real with you. But yes, I got Brandon Moreno. Now, one thing that Steve and his coaches can pick up on, if they really watch some footage of Brandon Moreno, is that Brandon Moreno, as he get comfortable with his striking and he's above on the scorecards, and he know that he's in this fight, or in that fight, not in this fight, in that fight. I want to be in the fight with Brandon Moreno. But he know he's above and he is winning the fight, getting the best of his opponent. He started to get kind of heavy with his shots, heavy with his punches, heavy, with his feet where he stand, and heavy with his strikes. That's the opportunity for Steve to counter and throw his jab and use his reach. Throw some front kicks, Steve. Throw some, some head kicks. You know what I'm saying? Use your wrestling and mix it up because you are a national champion wrestling, Steve. So use that in this fight and try to grapple and not make it a striking contest. If it's a striking contest, I got Brandon Moreno. I do not believe in Steve Chen after getting knocked out by Kaka Friends.
You could have gave him a little more time.
A little more time, though, man. Oh, wow. Dang, Steve. Down goes Steve. Left him down.
Not believe in Steve's confidence after getting knocked out. Just because of that last one, I just don't feel like Steve's going to get this one. And the little birdie told me this was a short notice fight for Steve too. So that's not good because the climate, the environment is different when you're fighting in New Mexico. And somebody that can tell you that is Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno and all his people. They'll tell you that. It's different fighting in his hometown. But fight fans, I was talking to a friend. Hear me out. Let me take a sip of that grown man drink. Hold on. Woo! I'm so excited, fight fans, for this fight. Drew Dober on that card, man. We got the return of Kevin Gastelum versus Joe Piper on that card. This is a really, really good card, man. These fight night cards been really stacked. They've been really good. But fight fans, I hate to do this, but I gotta compare Steve Erceg. See, Steve Urkel. I gotta compare Steve Erceg to Dominic Reyes. And this is why. When I was watching Steve fights, and I watched Steve fight Pantoja, I watched Dominic Reyes fights. People think that Dominic Reyes beat the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Boney Bones Jones, aka John Ducky. Johnny Duck. Johnny Boy Duck Jones. Oh, John Duck Jones. Or however you want to call it. Is it Johnny Duck Jones? Johnny Duck Jones. That's what it is. Johnny Duck Jones. Like a tongue twister. Johnny Duck Jones. The greatest of all time. So-called the greatest of all time. Right? We seen that fight between Jones and Reyes. A lot of people think that who won. Don't worry, I'll wait. Dominic Reyes won that fight. A lot of people think that Dominic Reyes won that fight, guys. And I'm one of them. I had a 3-2. I had a 3 Reyes, 2 Johnny Duck Jones. Right? And I look at Steve Erceg career, and I see the fight between Steve and Pantoja, and I say to myself, dang, man, that was a close fight. That was a close fight. He had Pantoja leaking bad. I feel like if Steve had a little bit more tools, when it comes to his striking mainly in that fight, he could have edged that fight out. Steve could have got that one, man, or it could have been a draw. He looked good in that fight because a lot of people counted Steve out in that fight, but he looked really good. That's when I kind of got to know Steve. Like, okay, this guy's for real. We'll really see if he's for real, and we'll see if he can bounce back from that knockout and see how he look against Brandon Moreno. But man, there was a close fight where people thought he won. he's like, okay, he's an okay fighter. He can make a name. He can probably make another run. He's had a close fight with Pantoja. He's young. The guy got skills. He just need to sharpen up a few things. And he can get back in there. He can probably make another run. We felt the same way about Dominic Reyes, but then Dominic Reyes got KO'd his next fight against John Bohoblich. And then Steve, after the fight with Pantoja, got KO'd or TKO'd by Kaka France. And then after that, Dominic Reyes went on the downslide. And then now he fight at UFC 314. And now Steve is fighting Brandon Moreno. So it's a comparison. You get what I'm saying as a hardcore MMA fan. If you remember that timeline, you get what I'm saying. That's kind of how I look at Steve. I like Steve. You know what I'm saying? His body language tripped me out. The way he's just so calm and stoic. You know what I'm saying? He like that guy, a 40-year-old version. That's what Steve looked like to be honest. I always pick on Steve, man. I love Steve. Listen, I love you, man. Come out there to fight. You know what I'm saying? His body language, just how quiet, his personality, that's just entertaining itself. Just seeing how Steve just like a school teacher, okay? He don't look like an MMA fighter. That's how I'm gonna put it. You know what I'm saying? He don't. That's all I'm saying, fight fan. He like a school teacher. Am I lying? Do Steve like a fighter to you guys? I mean, I bet he can. He can beat the piss out of me. He beat my glasses off, you know what I'm saying? But he just look funny looking, Steve. But yes, I got Brandon Moreno. Let me know who you got for the fight. I got Brandon Moreno winning by decision. I could see a scenario where they hit the ground and Brandon Moreno just lock in a choke. Like he did on Figueiredo. Like lock that thing in between the chin, and Steve Erceg tap to his glasses fall off and just tap, 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 tap. And just tap, 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 tap. That I do that. I didn't mean to. And say he didn't mean to tap. I can see a scenario like that where he tapped Steve out in a fight by rear naked choke, like in the 4th, 5th round. They get to the later rounds after Moreno, start to wear on Steve. The climate is different. He in Brandon Moreno's home territory. I can see Brandon Moreno getting a submission. Either submission or a decision win. I got Brandon Moreno winning by decision. I don't see the only way I can see Steve winning this fight if he finishes Brandon Moreno in the 1st round, which he's not going to do, or I see him, I guess, wham Brandon Moreno out. But when do we ever see that, fight fan? When do we ever see that? Brandon Moreno's like the dog. He's the bull. He's a matador, in his fights. So we don't see that. So that's the only shot I can give Steve in this fight. But it's gonna be an amazing fight fans. Make sure to like and subscribe. Like this video, comment, tell a friend, and tell a friend, and tell a friend, and tell a friend. Tell your ex-best friend. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But tell them to join the Cool Koi Show where we bring the laughter, fun, and excitement, fight fans. Guys, we're going live. We're getting our fight reactions. Me and my man Rich Ali and a surprise guest. Hint, hint. Surprise guest. Hint, hint. Can't tell you that. That's why you got to tune in to the Cool Koi Show, brought to you by the Undisputed MMA, where we talk about all things MMA. This is what Cool Koi. You wonder, I know.